Hello fellow Bambu Lab users, hello fellow P1P, X1C, and P1S users. I'm here today with the awesome new project, the P1 Touch. And we are going to walk through the process of going from this to this right now. Here I am sitting at Windows 11. I have the Chrome browser open and I am about to plug my P1 Touch screen into the USB port. Take our screen, then remove it from the protective bag. Orientate your screen so the micro USB connection is facing the right, and go ahead and peel off the protective plastic. This will prevent the screen from being extra reflective and unresponsive to your stylus. Now take your screen, hold it securely, and attach your micro USB cable to the side. The top of the cable will face the front of the screen, and the screen may or may not turn on. With your screen powered on, you'll go ahead and click on the experiments link to the P1 Touch web USB interface by clicking the link in the instructions or in the description of this video, and it will take you to this screen. You should see this icon right here that says P1 Touch Installer Connect. Go ahead and press the Connect button. You will see a list of connections appear on your screen. Look for your USB connection. It should say paired, and press connect. On the device dashboard, you will choose Install P1 Touch. You will then click Next. You will then click Install, and you will wait for the installation to complete. During this process, if your screen was not blank already, it will become blank now. Once the installation is complete, your screen will turn back on and you will be presented with a calibration screen. This is represented by a simple plus on your screen. Very carefully, tap the plus with your stylus and you will see the plus will move. Tap the plus with your stylus again. Congratulations, you have calibrated your P1 Touch, and it's time to switch to our phone to complete the rest of this installation. The P1 Touch will go to this screen, and we will now switch to our phone. In your phone, go to your Wi-Fi settings and look for the P1 Touch Wi-Fi network. It will be called P1 Touch. Touch that and enter the information shown here on the screen, which is a password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have a different screen in the future, follow any additional instructions for connecting to its Wi-Fi network. Press join. Now that we are connected via Wi-Fi connection to our P1 Touch screen, we need to tell our P1 Touch how to connect to our home network. We will do that by touching Configure Wi-Fi. In there, you will choose the Wi-Fi you wish to connect to with your P1 Touch. I will choose Greg Adventure and type in my password. I will then type in my P1P IP, access code, and serial number. It's very important to use all capitals when typing in the serial number. Find the serial number of your P1P by scrolling down to the donut, pressing OK, and scrolling down again until you see your printer's serial number displayed on the screen. You will also find your IP and access code by scrolling up on this same screen to your wireless LAN settings, press OK, and scroll down. You will find your access code and your IP address. When it's done, if your P1 Touch successfully connects to your Wi-Fi network, your phone will disconnect from the P1 Touch and resume its connection to your original Wi-Fi network. This will leave you at the P1 Touch home screen. Now it's time to install this P1 Touch into a case and mount it to our P1P. Over time, I am sure there will be many new options for cases. As of this video, there are only a few. I will use the better of the ones that is available for now, uploaded in printables by user TAC, link in the description. It consists of a few files: P1 Touch back, P1 Touch front, P1 Touch insert or no insert. I am going to use no insert. We will go ahead and arrange these on the plate by choosing auto arrange. I will allow it to rotate for arrangement. And then we will place them properly on the bed by choosing lay on face. And I will choose this face right here. And then I will arrange again. Looking at these parts, I see that this one would require some supports to handle this overhang. So we will go ahead and change the orientation of this one to print standing up like this. That should be fine printing without any supports. I'm not terribly concerned about my Z-seam. I'm not terribly concerned about strength. So I'm going to go 7%. I'm not terribly concerned about speed. I will slow it down just to be sure I have success without any issues. We don't need supports. We don't need a brim. I'm going to make sure brim is set to no brim. And we're going to slice and dice this sucker. Everything looks good. There'll be no Z-seams visible on the front of this thing anyway. So let's go ahead and send this to the printer. I'm going to print it in silver PLA. While we are printing our parts for the P1 Touch, you can see the P1 Touch is actually successfully monitoring the P1P. Here we have the layers that we're printing. Here we have the remaining time, the bed temperature, and the nozzle temperature. The print is complete, and you'll see the P1 Touch even reports finished on the screen, and you can see the temperatures of the plate and the nozzle are cooling. We have completed our first successful print with the P1 Touch attached, and ironically it is the case itself for the P1 Touch. Here we have our parts. I have them orientated properly to avoid any confusion and any accidental attaching in the wrong direction. I believe the plans for this housing call for M6x8 or self-tapping screws. I am going to forego that in place of a good old-fashioned heat gun. We will take our screen, flip it over, and with the micro USB in line with the hole on the case, we'll place it down into the case. You will see the holes in the case align with the holes on the board. In place of screws, I am going to take my glue gun, press it into the hole, and squeeze a dab of glue on each hole. Before the glue cures, I'm going to take the screen backer, flip it over, and press it down over the screen's holes. You will see the mounting for the clip on the far side from the micro USB connector. The screen is now nestled in its case. It's time to attach the mounting bracket. I will turn this over and lay it down. I am going to align this mounting bracket with the two screw holes so that the bottom of the clip is on the same side as the micro USB connector. And I'm going to glue that in place too. And here we have the screen and the mounting bracket all attached with no screws whatsoever. An alternate way to attach this bracket more accurately would be to attach the bracket to the backer before gluing the backer in, so you can look through the backer to make sure the holes are aligned. To attach this to the printer, I'm going to use a quality lengthy micro USB cable with a 90-degree angle attachment. I will link to this in the description. I am now going to power the P1 Touch with a simple iPhone block. Plug your USB cable into the iPhone block and plug the iPhone block into the wall. You can now see the P1 Touch has power. If your P1 Touch loses power, it may forget its settings and need to be reconnected to the network and your printer. Okay, here is the front of the P1P. This is exactly the same as the P1S. You will look right here on the top corner. There will be a hole. That is where the mounting clip for this screen goes. Simply take that clip, line it up with the hole, squeeze it, and push it down. Your P1S screen is installed. Plug it in and it will look like this. And there it is. We have successfully installed the P1 Touch to the P1P printer. Please keep in mind this is a new and developing project, and there may be a plethora of bugs and issues to tackle in the days ahead. I'm Greg Adventure, your instructor on 3drundown.com, and installing the awesome new P1 Touch to your Bambu Lab printer was today's adventure. Hey.